Welcome back everyone to Heroes and Villains HQ. My name's David and today we have another Marvel Legends review. We're going to take a look at the X-Factor Jean Grey. But before we crack her open, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below so you can stay tuned for more Marvel content on my channel. But without further ado, let's take a look at Jean Grey. Okay, before we open up the figure, as usual, let's take a look at the packaging. And this is on the Uncanny X-Men card, which is a really cool one. I especially love the box up here with the characters a part of the X-Factor series. That's, of course, calling back to classic, cover art on Marvel Comics. Then you have Jean Grey here with the telekinesis beam, and that is right here in a few different languages. And then Jean Grey X-Factor down there. Then you have the bubble with the character, the extra accessories, the head, as well as a nice telekinesis effect. Moving on to the back, where you have the description of the character as well as another look at the figure. So let's open up Jean Grey. Okay, the figure is now out of the package, and right away I'm very excited about this figure. A really great addition to the Marvel Legends line. Talking first about her accessories, she does include a pair of swappable telekinesis hands. These will be great to use, around her head or her waist to showcase her using her abilities. It does also include this telekinesis effect, however this only fits on her other head. And then lastly includes a swappable head with the long red hair. Those are really great options. I'm not sure which one I'm going to display it with just yet. Okay, now taking a look at the figure, you can see the coloring is really great. It's just green and yellow, the X-Factor logo on both her front and back. Very similar color scheme to the X-Men 97 Rogue figure, which if you haven't watched that review, be sure to check that out on my channel. She does include two fist hands, which again can be swapped out for the other hands. Then the other head mold has the entire mask over the top of her head with the red hair peeking out of the back. As for articulation, you have the really great Marvel Legends double jointed knees there, which gets you all the way to the back, as well as double jointed elbows, which again really allows you to pose this figure up nicely. She does also include butterfly joints, which are amazing and definitely one of the best additions to figures nowadays. She has the thigh swivels, the classic rocker ankles, and then lastly she sports a really great ab crunch, getting all the way down. Probably could get a little bit lower, however I think for the purposes of this figure that is pretty good. And then she can, of course, move around her upper waist there. And then the head is pretty standard. You're not going to get much articulation because of the hair, but the figure's articulation is fantastic and really on par with the best of Marvel Legends today. Now tossing the other parts onto the figure, you can see the two different swappable hands are great. You're going to be able to pose Jean Grey in a lot of awesome stances and action poses with the rest of your figures using these hands. However, the telekinesis part that goes on her forehead, I had a little bit of trouble with getting that in place. Taking a slightly closer look at the figure with this part, and you can see it kind of just slots into that little hairpiece right there. And if you don't get it just right, it just consistently falls out. Now for display on the shelf, it'll be totally fine, right? Obviously, you're not going to play around with the figure using this part. However, it does take a few tries to get it in place, and my only concern is if you change your display up a little bit and you're constantly messing with this part, is that hairpiece going to become looser and not allow the part to stay in place? I don't know, just a slight concern I have. It's not really that big of a deal, right? Because these figures are meant to go on a shelf and in a display and not really be touched or move around all that often. So I think this will be fine. The only complaint I have with the part is I feel like it's meant for this head, because this head is giving more of a I'm in battle, I'm in an action sequence, and I feel like the part is meant to be for more of like a face like this versus this head mold, which is a happy, she's smiling. I just don't feel like it fits the mold properly, but obviously the other mold is a flat forehead. I'm not really sure how they would have placed the part on that head mold, but it just seems off. But again, these complaints are really, really small nitpicks. I don't think they're a big deal or impact the enjoyment of this figure. trying out some poses. You could see you can really get this figure low and in a really dynamic pose. Taking a look at the ab crunch there, I have the ab pointed forward, however, the upper torso pointed back, and that'll allow you to get that sort of angle that you're looking for with the figure. One more pose, just for good measure. This one, I have her tilted back with her hands on her head. Swapping out the head one more time. The first time I swapped out the head, it was a little tough, but after that, it's pretty easy to swap out these parts. So definitely really happy with this figure and what it brings to the table. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on the X Factor Jean Grey Marvel Legends figure? Really happy with how this one turned out. I love the swappable heads. I think those are highlights for this figure. The articulation is fantastic. You get every single possible point of articulation and joint that you would want in a Marvel Legends figure. I think the suit is simple. It's green and yellow, doesn't do anything crazy, but it looks very nice. I will say the added telekinesis accessory, it's okay. It definitely I had some trouble getting it in place and keeping it in place. But I think once you have it in the spot you're looking for, you put the figure on your shelf, it's not gonna have any issues. So I'm not gonna knock it for that. Would I recommend you pick up this figure? Yeah, definitely. This is a really cool Jean Grey. If you're an X Factor fan, you like the X-Men, this is a really cool iteration of the character. Obviously, they've been pumping out a ton of Jean Greys recently, kind of with the resurgence of X-Men 97 and everything that surrounds that. So if you have a Jean Grey on your shelf, maybe you don't pick this one up. But if you're looking for an X Factor or just general Jean Grey figure, I think this one's a really cool one. So thank you all for watching this Marvel Legends review. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, again, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and of course the notification bell to stay tuned for more content on my channel. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.